how to win customers and keep them for life. I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and I'm going to tell you exactly how. As entrepreneurs and business owners, we know that if we have a clear plan, anything becomes possible. And if you can have a clear plan, a clear process to create that plan, and a way to create clarity with your partner or spouse, you can drive to amazing heights. Okay, so if you're out looking to win customers, the reality is in today's world, most people hate sales. And even furthermore, most people can smell a sale or a salesman or somebody trying to sell them almost immediately. So some very basics when it comes to winning sales is number one, be ultra present. Be curious. If you can look into that person's eyes as if you're trying to look into their soul, you're gonna be able to connect with them. And that's something that I feel is actually one of the greatest gifts we can give anyone right now, is the ability to be present. But the first thing, if they can feel that you're there for them, that's number one. Number two, don't try and sell them. I'll say that again, don't try and sell them. When instead, try and help them. What can you do to help them solve problems? And to do that well, you're gonna have to be curious. And be curious, ask lots of questions. Remember, the good Lord gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. You can talk half as much as you speak. Listen. Or if you can talk half as much as you listen. You're gonna end up it's gonna be more beneficial. So as you do this, you can be curious and really listen to where they are. Now, part of having really quality clients is also being selective. Genuinely thinking is this somebody that I can help with what I do, with my service, my product, whatever it may be? Is it going to help solve their needs? Because if you're just trying to sell it, move on to the next one. And if you're only about money, then go be a grifter or work for Goldman Sachs. But if you genuinely want to help somebody, right on, dig in, and really be curious on where that is. Now the third step is to give freely and give as much as you possibly can. I love when I have the opportunity to work with somebody, even if I just meet them. And if I can talk to them and I hear where they're at and I'm curious and I see that they're having an issue that I'm familiar with and that I can help it, I will bend over backwards to help solve that problem for them. I'll give away the farm. I'll give away everything I can, as much as I can. Because at that point, people realize that you're genuinely helping them. You're not trying to sell them anything. Now, this may sound counterintuitive, but what you're doing is you're establishing trust, determining motivations, and showing your value. So if you can establish trust with them by giving, you determine their motivations by being very curious and listening, and then you show your value by giving quality information, that's the majority of a really quality long-term relationship. Now, another step with this, and this is something that is hard for many people to get engaged with early, is to be fearless. How often have you been working with somebody, and even in that initial conversation, and you talk with them, and you realize, man, this guy's getting in his own way. Or, holy smoke, she's got a huge blind spot. I have found, particularly from a consulting, advisory, and coaching perspective, that if I can have a conversation with them and go, hey, can I offer some feedback? And say, yeah. And then I say, look, one of my main jobs with the people I work with is to be fearless, meaning I have to be willing to get fired every time I show up. Because if I'm not willing to call somebody out or say something that they may not want to hear, but that they actually should hear, well, they need to know that. And then you say, okay, so I've got a couple perspectives and I could be off, but here's what I'm seeing. And then give it to them and realize, not in a dickish way, but in a compassionate, giving way. If you can be there and be present for them and then help them understand and help them see a blind spot, oh my God, now you're really digging in on establishing the motivations, determining and providing value. But as you become fearless, and again, it's not in a mean way, but positive way, then as you move forward, don't be afraid of walking through and giving that and say, hey, this is what I do. Or, and say, okay, and then if it comes time to split off, walk away. Now, Sun Tzu wrote a great book, old philosopher, Chinese philosopher and war strategist. His book, Art of War, there's a phrase in there that, paraphrase, says, we pursue that which retreats. If you get caught being amazing and you help these people understand, wow, this person is there, and that you would consider potentially working with them if you feel it was right, you walk away. If they come up and they say, hey, by the way, what do you do and how does this work? Well, then you say, look, I'd love to talk to you and I'll give you an hour of my time to explore if we're a good fit. I'm pretty choosy with who I choose to work with. But when I do, I get really invested with the success of my clients. But what I mean by we pursue that which retreats means if you say, hey, here it is, you give, and you walk away, now some people just take it and they'll walk away. And you know what? Those people weren't going to be clients anyway. What that did is it gave you an opportunity to step up and give some opportunity to spread your name out a little bit and give you some more backs and some practice. But for the ones who do come back and say, well, what do you do? How does that work? Well, it enables you then to connect with them even stronger and say, well, this is what I do. Offer to give them the hour, and then you can move forward with that. And once you have that, you say, look, I'd be happy to do that. I do have room, and I always say I've got room for 2 more clients or 1 or more. You don't want to say I'm wide open and I've got everything, because then it doesn't have as much value or exclusivity. But if you can do those things, sorry, I'm grabbing my notes, you're going to be able to be present and help them. So that's basically how you go through and win clients. Now, when it comes to being there for life, I think some of the main things that we have to do is genuinely be honest and be present. So, like I said, be fearless. But when I'm working with someone, I am not multitasking. Now, I charge through the roof, but when I am there, I'm 100% present. Even if I'm talking with somebody and I'm coaching them on the phone, it means that I'm sitting down or I'm pacing in one room, but I am not doing other things. People can sense when we're not present. And the more present you can be with people, the more clear you can be in how you're helping them to solve a problem and what are the problems you're solving, the more value you're going to add. Now, I don't want to create a codependency. That's actually not nice, but I do always want to be adding value. And to do that, you have to be fearless, and you have to be candid and direct with them when you're working it. But one of the other things is you always have to be sharpening your tools for yourself. I try and invest about 20% of my time improving, and I congratulate you for watching the video, because those are the types of things that are going to help you create that long-term relationship. The more you create that intimacy, that trust, the easier it's going to be for you to have those long-term relationships. So if you found value in that, please feel free to subscribe, check out some of the other videos on the channel. And if you're looking at starting your own practice or you know somebody that is, feel free to go to aspiringsolopreneur.com. You can check out our book, or we have a full course online that helps you go through with videos and tutorials and all that. So hopefully you had found some value. Keep smiling.